Morning, students. Today's lesson again, I just continue the letter writing. Its introduction, types of letter writing topics, and letter writing in English format, and so many other parts of this particular lesson will be taught. Last time when I took this lesson of letter writing, in that I just taught the formal letter writing. And some students asked me, sir, what about informal writing? As in lower classes, students must have studied the formal writing, so as well as informal writing. In that case, I just thought that it's not that much important to tell about the informal writing, but still there are certain doubts students must have in their mind. So I thought of taking this lesson again, and in this particular session, I'll just focus upon informal writing. So let's recap quickly about the letter writing format of the formal letter, so that you just recall all the things which you studied in your last class. I just come to this one, that formal letters, what it is. In fact, I just tell you again, a formal letter can be written for various reasons. Here we have covered the formal letter format. In that case, formal and informal both will be covered, and let's talk about the formal letter now. That is, so formal letter is written uh, for the formal purpose, is called a formal letter. It addresses a serious issue. Let us discuss about types of formal letters. That is, in the beginning it's written that first is letter to editor, letter to the editor, letter to the government officials, letter to police department, letter to the principal in the school. If you would like to order something, like generally for school orders, we just uh, order some books for the library, sports items for the sports department. We just order these very common letters we write in order letter. So I come to complaint letter. We have next is inquiry letter. Sometimes we inquire about some admissions in the schools and colleges, universities. We inquire about the details of the availability of tickets, availability of reservation in the railway department. And next one is some business letters which are just following now. And we write application letters for job. We write letter to the bank manager for in the account statements. We sometimes require the details in the banks. Sometimes we need some very important information and open an account, and many more in the bank. Letter to the bank manager we write. And we write invitation letters. It is a formal letter. We write resignation letter. It is a formal letter. We write leave application, which I just took last time, a very separate module for leave applications. So we just now proceed to, in briefly, I'll explain what is formal letter and its format. So let's talk about it. We have more examples with us. That is leave application for marriage. I just took an example last time. Leave application for maternity leaves. And now just a formal letter strictly follows the prescribed format, and the formal letter writing in this, we have to take care of the language, which should be highly formal and to the point. In the point B, we have to use the colloquial words, abbreviations, and slang language. When we use them, they are not at all to be used. They are highly restricted in formal letter writing, and formal letter must be precise and to the point. I told you. The subject line is very important in this. Formal letter. Subject line, when I talk about this particular thing, subject, it is important in formal letter, which is absent in informal letters. We don't have to write the subject in informal letters. So take care of this, students. And let's talk about format. In the case of format, we just have to take care that it should contain sender's address in the beginning. After one line gap, we have to put date. After one line gap, we have to write receiver's address. And after one line gap, we have to write the subject. After that one line gap, salutation. Then there is no gap between body and salutation. Take care. So one line gap here, 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 here. But in these two cases, we don't generally give any gap between salutation and the body of the letter. So this is the format, basic of format, and generally body can be divided into three main paragraphs, and we can introduce ourselves, we can give the details of the matter. It is the main part of this body, and paragraph 3 can be made into conclusion, where so this paragraph 3 is the conclusion, where you just mention what you expect. For example, you can write the problem, that to highlight an issue in the newspaper, etc. And seventh point here we just study here, that is complementary closing. Complementary closing, that is called subscription. It is part of subscription, where you write your name, you write signature, and you write designation. And in capital letters you can add your name also. This way it can be done. So we have samples of formal letter. When I just send you the notes for this formal letter, you will just come to know each and everything. It is the format in the form of tabulation. You just go through it. I just come to next one. So this is the same note which I just have sent you last time. I just have to skip, as I have to explain, I have to focus upon informal letter. So please come to informal letter now. So now we have informal letter before us, and I just explain that. This is a letter written for an informal purpose. It is called an informal letter, and it is written for a casual purpose. So let's discuss about it. Earlier you must have seen informal letters are written in the form of postcards, inland letters, envelopes also, and we used to post it in the post boxes. And these days this is all obsolete, and people used to write emails, and they just send the messages and through social media messaging apps. So that is a very, earlier we had trendy and very nostalgic methods of communication. Nowadays it is lost, and we just crave for the same era of communication means when we used to write postcards, which were very open and very frank, and it was totally nostalgic. I would rather say that. It's nowadays we are using these electronic methods of communication. So come to the types of informal letters. We have letters to parents, letters to friends, letters to brothers and sisters and relatives, and classmates and neighbors we write generally. These are the types of informal letters. And when we talk about this format, we have the same format which we had studied in formal letters. So there is not big difference, but still there is a difference of 1 or 2 points. When I come to this informal letter, it does not strictly follow the prescribed format. First of all, in this point B, the language of an informal letter must be friendly and casual. An informal letter can have extra information. It doesn't mean that it should be to the point. The subject line is not required in an informal letter. Here I'm talking about these things. That is, does not strictly follow the prescribed format. It must be friendly and formal, casual, and it should have some extra information. It does not require, subject line is not needed here. This is the difference, basic difference. So take care, we don't have to include subject in it. And in other parts of format, we should have the address. Let's talk about it. I want to talk about address now. When I come to classes, I'll tell you what is address in fact. Here I'm just got frustrated whenever when I ask somebody, what is your address? Students try to understand. I get an answer, Macronia Sagar, Tili Sagar, DD Nagar Sagar, Devri Sagar. Do you think, students, is it an address? I'm very sorry to say. Please pay attention to this particularly very seriously. These are not addresses. They are blot in the name of addresses. Try to understand my point. The address contains house number, it should contain the area, you can call it mohalla. Then comes the city you belong to. Then comes the state you belong to. And before state, you can write district also. But it's city, and city generally is referred to the district also. After the state, you can mention pin code, which is very important. So, dear children, please don't joke about the addresses by saying Macronia Sagar and all. Please, I just don't expect whenever I ask you the address next time. The address should be perfect according to my format. Otherwise, I will just tell you again how to write an address. Alright, if I talk about address, so we have address, sender's address in the top should be written. Okay, so sender's address, then date, then receiver's address can also come. But here remember, this is the difference which makes it separate from formal letter, that receiver's address is generally omitted in this formal letter. So take care. Sender's address is compulsory here, but receiver's address is not compulsory. But if you write it, no marks will be deducted, as well as it will be considered to be better than not writing it. If you write it, it's always better. Alright, then salutation. It can be greeting like dear, hi, hello, and all. Then body of the matter. Then, of course, body may contain 3 paragraphs, but it doesn't require this particular format. It can be single paragraph, it can be 2, 3, 4, and many more. Because it's formal, there is no particular restriction on the paragraphs. Then comes the sender's name and signature, which is really very important. So take care of these points of format in informal letter. I come to next one. This is the tabulation where address, date, salutation, body of the letter, and sender's name and signature is given. So I come to the examples now. What else we have? It is same. Now talk about some difference between formal and informal letter. That is, you can see this easily. The notes which I'm going to send you, same which I'm reading here. So don't worry about that, you don't find the details in that. So now talk about difference. Formal letter and informal letter. The formal letter is written for businesses or professional purposes with a specific objective in mind. It uses simple language, which is easy to read and interpret. On the contrary, informal letters are written to friends and relatives for personal communication and require a casual or emotional tone. The size of formal letter should be concise. That does not include irrelevant matters. In contrast, the informal letter can be lengthier, and formal letters are used for writing letters to business contracts, that is partners, suppliers, customers, clients, college, institute, employer, professionals, etc. As against this, we write informal letter to friends, relatives and acquaintances, etc. So this is the difference. I come to next. The size of formal letter should be concise. That does not include irrelevant matter. In contrast, the informal letter can be lengthier. Formal letters are used for writing letters to business contracts and all. So it has been told you. I'll just come to the format of informal letter again. So in this case, the address, sender's address basically in the top, then comes the date, then comes the greeting and salutation. Their examples are given. And if I talk about introductory paragraph, we begin writing the actual letter. The introductory paragraph sets the tone for the whole letter. You might begin by asking the recipient about their well-being, or you may say that you hope that the letter finds them in good health and great spirits. The opening of informal letters should be casual and comforting. It must not be informal. It should not be formal. And it should not be direct, as in case of business letters. And the body, the letter overall should maintain a friendly tone, but you should have to adjust the language and the wordings according to who you are writing to. With a friend, you can afford to be very casual and flippant even. But if you are writing to an elder relative, you must be extremely respectful and considerate. Take care of these points. See, when you write to friend, you can be casual and flippant. But if you are writing to an elder relative, then you must be extremely respectful and considerate. Take care. It doesn't mean that informal letters are very open and very casual, and you can just write those words which are prohibited uh, in the society. Take care of this thing. So these are the things very important. I just come to that. One way to determine the tonality. Tonality means, that is uh, tone. Tone of your letter is to remember how you talk to the person in a conversation, and then apply the same syntax and sometimes to the letter. So remember, for friends, friendly tone; for elders, very serious and respectful tone. These are the difference while you write an informal letter. Informal letter format, conclusion in this case, you just conclude the paragraph, summing up the reason for writing the letter and summarizing the letter at last, and say a meaningful and affectionate goodbye to the reader. And do not forget to invite the reader to write back or reply to your letter. It shows an intention to keep the conversation going. After that, you can write your signature, name, and lots of love, best wishes, kind regards, kindly, and all. So pick the one that best suits the occasion and then simply sign your name below the greetings. And marking scheme, if I talk about that, for format we have 1 mark, sender's address, date, receiver's address, we have 1 mark each, and for subject, salutation and complimentary clause, 3 marks for the content. Expression contains the grammatical accuracy, appropriate words, spellings, coherence and relevance of ideas and style. You should not forget that if you write something else which is not needed at all, if you just leave the path of the main context, then this will not be called coherence, it will not be called relevance. You should be relevant, you should stick to the topic. For that it has 2 marks in total. Total we have 6 marks. Generally the informal letter is marked for 8 marks and sometimes 10 marks, but rarely we get 10 marks for the same. But very common examples, and commonly we have found that letters are awarded 8 marks for the correct letters. So we have some examples now. We can you can write in your notebooks that make sure you double check for grammatical accuracy and spellings. They carry marks. Leave an adequate number of lines between paragraphs to make it look neat. Underlining the main points is very important. It's sometimes students do not underline, but it is not very important. But it is advised to do it after finishing your exam. Use a pencil and scale for underlining. The presentation is very important. Your writing, spellings and grammatical accuracy. You read a lot of letters to get an idea. Now we have certain topics. These are the topics which you generally write to your relatives and all. And some examples we have. See the gaps between address, date, salutation and body, and the paragraphs you can see, and subscription. This is one of the example. Now we have questions which you can write in your notebooks, and we have exercise also at the last. You see, these examples can be written. So dear children, I expect you to reflect your ideas, and you can ask me doubts also, and complete your notebooks. And I expect the notebook should be completed in time, so that whenever you come to school, they are ready to be checked, and they carry 5 marks. Remember that. So I just conclude now. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.